And welcome to Hannity, the ObamaCare Navigators. You know, the unvetted men and women tapped by the White House to help you enroll in a new health insurance plan. They are now at the center of what appears to be a massive scandal. Now, according to a report released today by the House Oversight Committee, these navigators have, quote, encouraged consumers to commit tax fraud by underreporting income in order to qualify for Obamacare's health insurance subsidies. Now, congressional investigators are also accusing the administration of inadequately training these navigators, and they believe that serious misstep, quote, poses real threats to the safety of consumers, personally identifiable information such as one's Social Security number, yearly income, and other sensitive tax information. Now, a field hearing looking into the conduct of the navigators was held earlier today in Texas. It was prompted after the group Project Veritas released this undercover footage of Obama allies instructing potential health care buyers to lie. You may remember this.
Stuff like that, you know, to get a lower premium, I wouldn't include it. You know, if I was cutting grass on the weekends and they were just giving me money, you know, that's my money. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know, that's my money. That's my money.
Now, in just a moment, the lawmakers who led today's inquiry, they're going to join us from Dallas. But first, we have uncovered another Obamacare shock poll to tell you about tonight. According to a brand new AP survey, nearly 70% of Americans say their premiums will, in fact, increase in the year 2014. And 4 out of 5 people polled point the finger directly at the president and his health care law and for that rise in cost. Ouch. Now, tonight, we want you to join the conversation. Just log on to our Facebook page. We want to know if your premiums, are they rising? And if so, who do you blame for Obamacare? Plus, you can trend on Twitter, sound off, using the hashtag Hannity. At Sean Hannity is my Twitter address. Over the course of the next hour, joining me now in their investigation into the president's health care overhaul, House Oversight Committee Chair Darrell Issa and Congressman Pete Sessions. Gentlemen, good to see you both. Welcome aboard.
Good to see you, Sean.
This undercover video where they tell people to lie about, you know, whether you smoke or not, I mean, that's fraud. Isn't that against, these are things that are against the law, are they not, Congressman Issa?
Well, they're absolutely against the law, but more importantly, these individuals, these so-called navigators, don't follow any of the rules that every state in the union has for insurance people. So the idea that they're bonded, that they're identified, that they're fingerprinted, anything that would cause you to know that they're not felons and identity theft perpetrators simply hasn't been done. And we saw that in the hearing today. Even the simplest, are you going to do it? Do you get a copy of their driver's licenses? The answer was repeatedly no. This is basically just another form of community organizing paid for with your tax dollars, Acorn revisited, if you will.
Well, Congressman Sessions, I know we've kind of gotten away from the law of the land, and the president decides which laws are going to be enforced and changes laws at a whim without going through Congress. But, you know, I've met on the phone with these navigators, and one woman got fired for being on the phone with me. But the question I have is this illegal? And who's responsible for this?
Sean, the questions you ask are good and they're fair. Today we held a very fair hearing, and a senior official from CMS was present and gave testimony today that not even he could provide information that other professionals in Texas provide who sell health insurance. Yeah. Not even he could tell you who the doctors are, what coverage would be provided, and what hospitals would be a part of that coverage. These navigators are out selling things that they do not understand. They cannot certify to people who are buying them. And I believe the president should, and the Secretary Sebelius should, offer an advisory notifying consumers across the country that they do not have a product worthy. It is a deceptive sales practice. And in Texas, it's happening right now.
That's called bait and switch. I mean, if any private corporation did this, Congressman Issa, are they likely, the people responsible, would they not be likely to go to jail or investigated or prosecuted?
Well, certainly, if you tried to do it, you wouldn't be able to. But remember, these aren't insurance companies. These aren't government employees. They're essentially community organizers that have been hired for the Urban League and other groups. And beyond that, the interesting thing is what they're really hired to do is to convince people to get Medicaid under this new program, convince them to get a highly subsidized health care plan. They're not there to sell the merits of the insurance. They're there to sell the subsidy.
Yeah, well, they want to get the numbers up because so few people have signed up for it. Congressman Sessions, identity theft is huge now. I mean, it's a real risk. They didn't vet the people that you're giving your private, confidential information to. Social Security number. In other words, they could be identity thieves that are working as navigators. Is that really possible?
Under direct questioning, testimony today by a senior official from Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services testified that they do not know who these people are. They've never taken a picture of their license, their driver's license. They do not know who they are. And yet, he openly then said, but they're really doing a great job. Yeah. And this is simply, as he described, it's one good neighbor helping another good neighbor. This is the federal government at work using federal dollars, and I believe on the very surface of it, it is fraud at its very finest, and this administration is pushing it. The hearing today revealed all of these issues. We
had Congressman Issa IT experts on the program, people that said maximum for a site like this, they could have built it for $5 million. $5 million, to start to finish. And they also concluded, and these guys, this is what they do for a living, that there was no security, no thought to the security built into the website. And that still today, even after the so-called fix, it still isn't a secure site. So how can the president advise people to go on a site that experts are telling me isn't secure?
Well, of course, the administration has said they've made these fixes, but when we had to subpoena documents from MITRE as to the failures, the things that were not safe on launch day, they attempted to stop us in every way they could. They literally ordered the contractors not to turn documents over even after we subpoenaed them, and they claimed it was because it was a roadmap for hackers. Sean, what's amazing about that is a roadmap for hackers, if you put the roadblocks in, the roadmap doesn't do any good. One of our concerns is the documents we now have show some serious areas that may still be wide open to hackers or even wide open to accidental discovery. Some of these flaws are so great that somebody just inadvertently could end up, if you will, hacking a site.
Well, they discovered 400 bugs that they had to fix between the opening October 1st and the first fix. So I assume there's more bugs in there. Exit question. Congressman Issa, I'll start with you. Would you, based on what you know about the security or lack thereof of the website and the navigators, would you recommend anybody go to that website, sign on, give personal information, or is that a mistake?
I think the longer somebody waits before they go on, within the mandate of the law, they're doing themselves a service because this site can only get better as they're fixing it. On day one, you couldn't have gotten on if you wanted to. Today, I'm still very concerned about your personal information.
Congressman Sessions, my vote would be I wouldn't go on. I'm not going on that website. I wouldn't dare, except poor Ainsley Earhart has had to go on there and give her personal information. But Congressman Sessions, would you go on that website or recommend your constituents go on that website?
Well, in fact, I have been on that website and had a terrible time getting through it. It is only a last resort opportunity. And for the president to go and sell this as ready for prime time is simply not correct. And I think, once again, it goes back to the point, 2 points. Number one, if it's so great, why isn't the president and the rest of the federal government on it? And secondly, why isn't it in an optional program? It would cost trillions of dollars less if it were optional and simply be there for people who had no other choice.